Well, in our last video, we talked about uh, colors fill and stroke, and it really wasn't fair because we didn't have too much fill and stroke to work with. And that all involves colors. It could involve patterns and gradients, and we can make patterns and gradients or shading devices, and we'll have videos on both of those. They're a lot of fun. But colors are a totally different story, and people are really picky about their colors. So we're going to talk about colors, adding colors to the swatch box, saving those colors for multiple projects. We're going to talk about Pantone colors. That's a whole different story. And we'll talk about hex values or hexadecimal values, and those are colors that you use for the internet. So let's go into Illustrator and show you how this all gets done. Here we go. Let's close that. Here goes Adobe Illustrator right here. And let's get rid of all of these assets that we presently are working with. So in the swatch box, we have a limited amount of colors. And I'm going to go back to the circle tool, make a circle. And so, as you know, I can select an object with the black arrow tool and have my fill to the front down here in the toolbar. And as you can see, I can click on any of these colors to change the colors. Well, what about these things down here? What about these? These are gradients. Gradients are shaded colors, and this one is going from white to black over time. This one happens to be a linear gradient. And there is a gradient panel. You can go Window, Gradient. And then you can, this is a linear where it's going from white to black in a linear fashion, but notice you can make it a radial gradient, which is great for making tires. But anyway, those are gradients. Also, they have these things in here called patterns. I can click here and assign this pattern, click here and assign this pattern, and you can assign patterns to fill or stroke. Let's swap that. We've clicked the little swap button. Let's increase the stroke so we can see more of that pattern on the stroke. So all of that is happening in the swatch box. So to get to the wide range of colors, I'm going to deselect. We can double click fill or stroke here in the toolbar, and we get the Supreme Color Picker here. And we've got all these values. Here are our red, green, and blue values, your CMYK values, red, blue, and green, CMYK, cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. Those work in percentages. And there is a such thing as perfect black and perfect white. This is the hexadecimal value. You use this number down here in web pages. So if I go 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, that takes me to perfect black. Come on now, I have to hit enter on the keyboard. I'll double click that again and open it back up. That should be perfect black. Well, anyway, and notice there is the option for web colors only. I don't know who would use that anymore, but you'll run into clients. Run into clients, and they have web pages, they have brochures, business cards, magazines, and they will have specific CMYK values that they use. They may be 10 of them or 5 of them, and they'll say, I want my logo to be this CMYK value. Or if they have web pages, I want the logo in my web page to be this hexadecimal value. And the same color picker, as you can see, is the exact same one as you have in Photoshop. And you just drag through this rainbow and find the color that you're looking for, the color range that is, and then you drag this little circle around until you get the color that you want, and then you just click OK. And then the color shows up over here. To add that specific color to your swatch box, you just double click fill or stroke. I'm sorry, you didn't have to do that. In the swatch box, you just click new swatch. And there are the RGB values, and I'm just going to call this one my red. So you can spend a day adding colors to your swatch box, but and when you save this file, I'm going to go File, Save As. Come on now. And Illustrator is taking this time, and I have a reason for doing this. Here we go. And I'm going to save this into a folder called Part 6 Working with Colors, and I'm going to call this My Colors. There we go. It's an AI file. I click Save. Okay, save, okay. All defaults. Okay, now in the swatch box, if you go over here to this little drop down here they say Open Swatch Libraries. And these are just combinations of colors. And like, okay, let's try art history. And you can play with these. Okay, I'm going to choose pop art. Okay, now whatever the heck this is, the pop art color library, whatever. Whenever I click one of these, it starts adding. You can choose that, add the color, then it shows up in your swatch box, also in your library. Maybe click this one. That's going to show up in your library. Let's close that. I'm not real happy with it. Let's go up here again. Open Swatch Library. Color books. This is where you go into the wide world of all these process colors, Phototone, Pantone, True Match, Pantone, True Match, Toyo. That's almost like Walmart, Costco, Kroger's. These are all, those are corporations, they're brand names, and some clients of yours live by these color books. So I'm just going to go CMYK uncoded. Okay. And this opens up a brand new world. I mean, you can scroll down through here, and it's all the colors. And each one of these, Pantone P1014U. That's almost like you go to AutoZone, you need a muffler. Well, which muffler do you want? I want muffler number AKZY10, okay? And each of these colors, it's almost like a paint store when you go to the paint store to buy paint. And as you click on different colors, you'll see they start showing up in your swatch box. So it's almost like they're just saved there. And once there it is, then you can hover over it in the swatch box and it shows you the value. So if you have a client and they like this green P449U, they can give you that number, tell you which swatch library it's in, and you've got their logo color, the background color they use for their menu items, whatever. Okay, so let's and if you want, and you can see I'm selecting multiple, but if I select, God forbid, this color range, I can drag. I really don't want to do this, but I can drag all of those into my swatch box, and they're all there, so I can use them again and again. So I'm going to save this file. Okay, and then now I've got all of these colors saved, and if I had made some patterns and gradients, they all would show up in my swatch box. So now I'm going to open a new file, new, and my goal here is to try to open this swatch box. Okay, while I'm waiting on that tab, there we go, file, and I just create another letter document. Okay, so I've got a new document open, and what I'm going to try to do is open that other library, but if I'm not mistaken, I have to close my colors to be able to get to that library. But if I go here, I can go open swatch library, then I can go to other library down here at the bottom. Okay, which library do you want? Well, I go in here, I choose the My Colors AI file, click open, and here it is. Wow, that file's open and it still works. And these are all the colors that are in the file called My Colors. So if you have a client and they use this Pantone, that Pantone, or this hexadecimal value, and you have a collection, you can have a library, which is just an AI file for each of those clients. And for my websites, there are certain colors that I use all the time. And I do this, and it's a great way of organizing your colors, because if I double click this thing, I do a lot of web work, and there are 16.7 million colors. So that means web work involves mostly hexadecimal values. And that's 16.7 million combinations of numbers and letters to make these things come to life. And one red, I've had clients that will say, oh, I want a blue background. Well, lady, there's literally 500,000 shades of blue. Each one of those has a hexadecimal value or a CMYK value. Well, which of the 500,000 blues do you want? Okay, so colors are important. Managing your color libraries are important. And that's a little bit into how you can use your swatch box and the Supreme Color Picker to choose colors.